When we first saw the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, we were all very impressed, if not a little bewildered, at just how much horsepower was crammed under the hood. Apart from wondering how it handled both in the real world and on the track, at no point were we thinking, wow, that's something. I wonder if they'd ever add more power. Well, someone at Dodge did, as if the devil himself fiendishly put the idea in the heads of engineers, and lo, the Dodge Challenger Demon was born. With a promise of 840 horsepower and 770 pound-feet of torque, the Challenger Demon has been presented first and foremost as a car made to smoke the competition at a drag strip. Though derived from the Hellcat's power plant, the Demon's motor has seen some extensive development to hit the SRT team's goals. Among numerous tweaks, the motor gains a new 2.7-liter supercharger that now ups the boost delivered to 14.5 psi. It's also had its RPM limit increased to 6,500 and is now outfitted with a chiller. The chiller essentially reroutes the cabin's air conditioning refrigerant, and instead of keeping passengers cool, it helps cool the air going into the supercharger. This supports all the air coming through the huge whaleshark-like hood scoop as well as the other breathing apertures. There are even inlets where the fog lamps would usually be. The engine's also rated to run on higher octane fuel than what you'd normally get at your corner gas station. In fact, you'll need it to get all 840 horses out of the gate. With just regular super unleaded, the Demon only churns up 808 horsepower and 717 pound-feet of torque, which is still, like, a lot. To see it in action, Digital Trends took a trip to New Jersey's Atco Dragway. Climbing into the driver's seat, I was ready to fully utilize the Demon's built-in tools to mask my amateur drag strip skill level.
I can use line lock to hold the front wheels to warm up the back, but for the launch, I have to use trans brake. And what that does is there's a sequence that I can do very quickly in drag mode.
Drag mode stacks everything in your favor for you to execute the launch, but there are some things in play to keep you literally on the straight and narrow. Traction control is off, but electronic stability control is still there to help you avoid going sideways. Trans brake actually holds the car in place by locking the transmission output shaft before a standing launch. The sequence is tricky at first, requiring the driver to pull back on both transmission paddles and then hold the brakes down to start. It's up to the driver to modulate the revs, keeping them between 1500 and 2300 RPMs.
Both paddles, hold those, hard brake, let go of one paddle. What was all to remember here? Whatever. There we go.
Do it right, and you're essentially holding the 840 horsepower Demon in check with one finger.
Build this up. Let go of this paddle. No, let go of the brake. Carefully. Ah, up. Hold on.
It does take some practice though. Keeping the revs where you want them requires a little finesse, but once you nail it...
Let go of the brake. Here we go. Holy crap! I don't even know if that's 120! Oh, I got a brake! Woo!
The Demon takes off at an incredible, unnatural rate that almost takes you by surprise, especially when your mind is focused on not screwing up trans brake.
Because guys like me get really competitive, they're not timing these runs. Otherwise, that's all we'd be doing, and it would get pretty reckless very quickly. So I can't tell you how fast that quarter-mile run was. But we might do an unofficial thing where we use the video's time code and then just put it like, I don't know, here. Wow. That's crazy.
Prices start at $84,995, though options like a passenger seat, yes, that's an optional extra, we'll see that price go higher. Thrill seekers with money to burn and who have made their peace with their time on Earth should certainly look no further.